Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to the monthly Town of Milton Board meeting. Today is September the 25th, 2024. The time is 6:30. I'd like to get the meeting started with a pledge by Councilwoman Soden.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Roll call.
Councilman Delnicki.
Present.
Councilwoman Soden.
Present.
Councilman Froelich.
Present.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Present.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Present. A motion to accept the minutes from the August 28th, 2024 Town Board meeting.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Delnicki.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, the time is 6:32. Open a public hearing for the Village of Ballston Spas fire contract for the year of January 1st of 2024 to December 31st of 2024. Brenda, can you read the notice, please?
Notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Milton, Saratoga County, State of New York will meet and conduct a public hearing at the Milton Town Hall, 503 Geyser Road, in said Town of Milton, County of Saratoga, State of New York, and remotely by conference call and other similar service where the public will have the ability to view or listen to such proceedings on the 25th day of September 2024 at 6:30 p.m. for the purpose of hearing all persons upon approval, modification, or disapproval of the fire contract. Why is it? All right. Fire contract between the Village of Ballston Spa and the Town of Milton, County of Saratoga. Said hearing may be adjourned from time to time as necessary. Documentation may be viewed on the Town of Milton website.
Thank you, Brenda. The public hearing for the Ballston Spa fire contract is now open. If anyone would like to speak from the audience. Mike Iacolucci.
Thank you. Good evening, Mike Iacolucci, 3 on Foot Drive. Just 2 quick questions on the agreement.
Can you speak into the microphone, Mike?
Is it on, Mike?
Screen, is that on?
Yes.
That better?
No.
No.
Use your outdoor voice.
Just silence in my brain. Is that okay? We're going to talk about it. Just in number 2, the dollar amount of the remaining sum to be paid is blank currently. So I just asked you to let us know what that will be. And given that we're in the Town of Milton budget process, an update if we could on the negotiation, hopefully finalization of a contract for years beyond 2024.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone else in the audience like to speak? Amanda, anybody via Zoom?
Scott.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Michelle. Didn't see your hand. I apologize.
Michelle Judah, 34 Van Tassel Lane. I am, other than what was mentioned that line is blank, I have no problems with the contract. I just want to express that, a little dismay. I'm not sure what's going on that's keeping us from able to get something more than just a single-year contract. Fire service is very important. My understanding is I think there's other municipalities that contract with the village, have contracts in place, so I'm not sure what's holding it up. I listened to the village meetings. The equipment costs, what they have is extraordinary, not meaning it's out of line, just it's very expensive. Their, lead time because of supply chain issues is an issue. I would think having money from us, in a timely way would be important. And the other piece of it as well is, the people who are providing those services and their safety. And their ability to have the equipment and the things that they need to provide that service for us. So I would just encourage us to resolve whatever is keeping us from getting to the point of having more than just this single year Band-Aid contract with the village so that they get paid for what they're providing. Thanks.
Michelle, just to reiterate on your question, we pulled the contracts for the county municipalities. Just about every municipality in the county does one-year contracts with the fire department. That's not a fire district. Just moving forward. Anyone else? Amanda, anybody via Zoom? Hearing none, can I get a motion to close the fire contract negotiations?
I'll
The
make
public
that,
hearing.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Frolich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next on the agenda is resolution number 85 of 2024. Whereas the town of Milton, the village of Ballston Spa are working together on an agreement to provide for the furnishing of fire protection services within the town of Milton Fire Protection District Number 1. Now therefore be it resolved, the purpose agreement between town of Milton, and the village of Ballston Spa for the provisions of fire protection service for Milton Fire Protection District 1 for the period of January 1 of 2024 through December 31st of 2024 is hereby approved, subject to any changes recommended by the town attorney. A full copy of complete in which said agreement is attached and is further resolved by the town supervisor, town of Milton, to be and hereby authorized on behalf of the town at the aforesaid Fire Protection District to enter into an agreement of the aforesaid, and is further resolved that the consideration set forth therein for said fire protection, together with all expenses necessary incurred occasion thereby, and shall be affixed and levied upon taxable real property within the said fire protection district. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 85.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next on the agenda is public comment on the agenda items only. This time, public comment on agenda items only is now open if anyone would like to speak. Mike Iacolucci.
Thank you. Mike, just a question with respect to the retiring of the company. So I understand that the change was made at the end of 2024. And I guess my question really boils down to how much of a notification was given to employees in late 2023 to explain that there would be this change effective for retirements after December 2020.
Yeah,
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I'm going to admit to, when we did the handbook, which we finalized January 1st, 2023, I believe, we voted and finalized the revision. At that time, we had promised the people who were already retired that we would not touch their benefits. We felt it was the proper thing to do because they had been promised those for so long. And unfortunately, that one slipped through the reimbursement. We kind of missed the reimbursement. So that's why we're changing that back. So those people that were retired before that handbook went into effect will continue to receive the benefits. It's one of their retirement benefits.
Anyone else? Okay. Can you give me the name? We can call them up, Amanda.
Sharon Licata.
Hi, can you hear me?
Ooh. Wow.
Yes.
Can you wave so that I can hear you, so I know if you hear me or not, because,
good.
okay, so the microphone's not working on the podium. And I couldn't hear a word that Mike Iacolucci said or anyone else. So can somebody turn that on, please? That's all I
It is on.
have.
I just changed it out. It is on.
You were looking.
She just changed it out, Sharon.
Not working.
Okay.
It is on.
It's on.
Here. Yes.
No, Mike, that's controlled by here, over here. Volume.
It's the system. I've got.
Sharon, do you have any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Eric can share his mic if somebody comes up to.
Who's
Next is D-Wag. Oh, she lowered her hand. Oh, no, she got it back up. Can you unmute D?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you the same thing that Sharon did. So, and it still doesn't appear to be working, so
Okay, thank you, Dee. Is that the only question you have?
that's it.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else in the audience like to speak? Hearing none, public comment number 1 is now closed. Next on the agenda is a presentation by the town historian for the 2024 Heritage Award presented to Gary and Susan Heselton.
Evening, Mike McGaney, town historian. Use Eric's mic.
Use
Yeah, that's
Eric's
what I-
mic.
Oh, then they'll pick it up on Zoom.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, just pull that, can you pull that over, Mike? The podium?
Okay.
Just a little bit, there you go.
How's that? Good? All right. So tonight we have the privilege of honoring residents of our community. We do this once every year. And this is basically, it's called the Heritage Award. Now, it's presenting the award. It's agreed upon by the members of the Historic Places and Structures Committee for the town. We designate one residence or building in the town that exemplifies historic preservation. And this year it's going to be the Heseltons, who live at 3425 Galloway Road, not too far from my house, so I go by there all the time. And it was a pleasure to see this thing transform. Now, if anybody's lived in the community very long, you know where the Milton Grange is on Galloway Road. I was duly impressed by the amount of work that they put into that structure, and even adding other structures, and still keeping the integrity of the historic nature of the building. So I'm basically going to read through this nice. Well, I think it's nice. I did it. I went through like several drafts of this, so I hope it comes out as well as I hope it will. Okay, as far as their home. Okay. As the historian member of the Historic Structures and Places Committee for the town of Milton, it's my pleasure to once a year single out a resident of our community who exemplifies efforts at preserving our past to the preservation of our historic structures and places. Today, the town board and the Historic Structures and Places Committee honor Gary and Susan Heselton by presenting them with a 2024 Town of Milton Heritage Award. The home of Gary and Susan is located at 3425 Galloway Road, near what is known as Spires Corners in the hamlet of West Milton. The structure, built in 1922, is a large white bungalow and once served as the home of the Grange number 685. The front porch supports a small belfry, which was used for decades to call its membership to attendance. For about 70 years, this structure played an important role in the social and economic life of the rural residents of Milton. The history of the Grange, formerly known as the Patrons of Husbandry, started just after the Civil War. Granges were organized in Saratoga County in 1890, and by the mid-20th century had been established in the towns of Ballston, Charlton, Clifton Park, Corinth, Galway, Greenfield, Malta, Milton, Northumberland, Saratoga, Stillwater, and Wilton. In 1922, the members of the Milton Grange number 685 decided that the building that served as their meeting place was in need of extensive repair and deemed unsafe. That structure was sold in 1923 for $250 to offset the construction of a new building. The planning for the new Grange Hall, now the Heselton home, was started by the Grange membership in June of 1922. The Grange officers decided that a lot near Spires Corners on the south side of the Luigi Creek would be purchased from Henry Lewis for $200. The building to be constructed would be a large bungalow of 32 by 72 feet and include an 8-foot-high basement. The budget for construction was $6,869, which included the cost of a furnace. The new meeting hall was completed within 6 months by December of 1922 at a cost of $6,222.31. Interestingly, when the planning was being done, it was suggested by a young Carl King that the hall floor be constructed to have a spring to it for dances. Only later was it decided that it had too much spring, and the floor is reinforced with a beam down the center of the basement ceiling, which functions as a kitchen and dining area. It was there that the Grange membership opened its doors to all residents of the town to attend its wonderful pancake breakfast on Sunday. Unfortunately, during World War II, membership of the Grange began to fall off. As the economy of the town shifted away from farming and husbandry, it became more of a bedroom community whose residents worked in various industries in surrounding communities or worked at the nearby Kesheling site in West Milton. By the 1990s, the few remaining active members of the Grange decided it would no longer support the operation of the Grange Hall and decided to sell the structure. In 1992, the old Grange Hall took on new life as a meeting place for the Christ the Savior Orthodox Christian Church. Initially, the structure was purchased as a temporary home for the congregation as they collected funds to build a newer and larger home, but circumstances led the congregation to stay for 15 years. As part of the conditions of the original sale, Grange members were allowed to meet and carry on social events, including the popular pancake breakfasts held on Sunday mornings. Once a new home was established for the Christ the Savior Church, the structure was once again offered for sale. In 2012, Gary and Susan purchased a building from the Christ the Savior Church, reinventing the 90-year-old structure once again as the personal residence of the Heselton family. Since then, I've witnessed this transformation of this Farmer's Grange of Milton into a beautifully well-preserved private home, for which I want to thank them very much. And the community thanks you too. Again, your efforts at preserving our history, and especially in that part of the town, largely agricultural, the Grange Hall was centered to the social life of that area. So at this point, I'd like to present the Heseltons with the Heritage Award, if you could come up. You want? Want to get all the pictures shot or anything?
If I'm coming, the whole board's coming.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let's do that.
Absolutely.
Let's over here.
We'll come to you. Yeah, right in the middle, Mike, would that be good? Yeah, thank you.
Sorry,
Come on, Barbie. You really want them all.
Well, you should be holding on to this. I'll slow it down. You should be over there. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have no doubts that Gary will be putting this up very soon because he takes great pride in his home. As you go by, you can see that. One more thing, I have a binder that has the documented history of the home as well.
Did you?
So this is the history as it transformed itself 300 times. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I just want to thank the Historic Structures and Places Committee too. Jeremy Baird is here and Allison Sell are also here tonight to be part of this presentation. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Excellent job as always. If you guys would like to exit or you want to stay for the meeting, it's up to you. I can wait. Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on with the agenda, next is resolution number 86 of 2024. Resolution to appoint a principal account clerk in the town comptroller's office, whereas Town of Milton's comptroller's office is in need of filling a principal clerk's position vacancy to assist the budgeting, accounting, financial management, cash management, benefits management, and processing payroll accounts, accounts receivable, accounts payable, as well as other financial duties in the town comptroller's office. Now therefore be it resolved upon recommendation of the Personnel Committee and Town Comptroller, Town Board hereby appoints and hires Ashley DeBlasio of 1019 Peaceable Street, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020 to the full-time position of Principal Account Clerk for the Town of Milton, the Comptroller's Office, Grade 6, Step 1, effective September the 23rd, 2024, at a rate of $25.96 per hour, with her specified hourly schedule to be determined by the Town Comptroller and Town Supervisor, with benefits limited only to those that are provided for by the Town Personnel policy, if any, with said hire to be conditioned on a requirement of taking and passing the next county civil service exam and being placed on the resulting eligibility list within the set time frame, and further conditioned upon and subject to 52 weeks civil service probationary period, whether after she may then become a permanent employee. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 86, please.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Frolish,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next resolution number 87 of 2024, resolution to modify section 708 of the Town of Milton's Employee Handbook. Whereas the town board from time to time reviews and revises town personnel policies to assure compliance with current state and federal laws and make adjustments, corrections, and updates. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby approves and adopts the amendment to section 708 subsection entitled Medical Insurance for Retirees Medicare Part B Reimbursement of the Town of Milton Employee Handbook, and full and complete copy of which amendment is attached here and made to a part thereof and is fully set forth herein. And it be further resolved, the town supervisor is authorized and directed to revise the current existing town employee handbook in accordance with the attached section and to do all the necessary and effective to implement the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 87.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Frolish,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next resolution number 88 of 2024, resolution to approve the modification of Phase 2 plumbing construction contract for the Rollins Street Highway facility per recommendation of Delaware Engineering DPC and the Facilities Committee, whereas Town Board was advised in certain and additional plumbing work was recently discovered that needs to be pursued as part of the site construction for the new Rollins Street Highway facility, which upon further review will benefit the town, and the project was not anticipated nor covered by the original contract entered in between the town and the contractor, which have recently been recommended by Delaware Engineering DPC, the town engineer and project architect, and now therefore be it resolved, the town board, after due consideration upon recommendations from Town Facilities Committee, town engineer, project architect, Delaware Engineer DPC, and review of the town comptroller, authorizes and awards the following change orders as set forth in attached letter caption recommendation to approve contract modifications of Delaware DPC dated September the 25th, 2024. Number one, RF Gordon Mechanical Incorporation foundation sizes and quantities of anchor bolts required certain modification and adjustments leading to trench drains necessarily being modified to be segmented with additional drain lines to tie all trench drains together. As this was applied to the contract drawn and allowances that requires an unchanged net contract value in the sum of $0 and is further resolved, Town Board hereby directs Town Supervisor to take whatever steps are necessary to execute the agreement between Town of Milton and RF Gordon Mechanical for the improvements of work and any required change order documentation or inspection documents which will be needed and necessary for the process and completion of the change order, and to do all that is needed and required and pay all amounts owed under this agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, motion for resolution number 88.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Frolish,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution 89 of 2024, resolution to approve the modification of Phase 1 electrical construction contract for the Rollins Street Highway facility per recommendation of Delaware Engineering DPC and the Facilities Committee, whereas the Town Board was advised that certain additional electrical work was recently discovered that needed to be pursued as part of the site construction for the new Rollins Street Highway facility, and upon which further review will benefit the town, and the project were not anticipated nor covered by the original contract entered in between the town and the contractor, which have recently been recommended by Delaware Engineering DPC, the town engineer, and the project architect. Now therefore be it resolved, Town Board, after due consideration upon recommendation from the Town Facilities Committee, Town Engineer and Project Architect, Delaware Engineering DPC, and the review of the Town Comptroller authorized and awards the following change order as set forth in attached letter. Caption, recommended to approve contract modifications of Delaware DPC dated September the 25th of 2024. Number one, LaCourte Company's installation of 2 light circuits rather than a single one at the request of National Grid, and install any additional spare conduit from the new pole installation to the transformer pad. This requires and will yield a net contract value change increase in the sum of $7,456.01. Number two, LaCourte Companies Incorporated, there was a 3% bond increase as a result of a previous approved and executed change order by the town on January the 24th, 2024. This requires and will yield an increased cost shift from Phase 2 to Phase 1 in the sum of $6,171.75. And further, resolve that the town board hereby directs the town supervisor to take whatever steps are necessary to execute an agreement between the town of Milton and LaCourte Companies Incorporated for such improvements and work, and any required change order documentation or inspection documentation which will be needed and necessary for the processing and completion of the change order, and to do all that is needed and required to pay all amounts owed under the agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 89.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Dunleavy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 90 of 2024. Resolution to approve the modification of Phase 2 Central Construction Contract for the Round Street Highway Facility per recommendation Delaware Engineering DPC and the Facilities Committee. Whereas the town board was advised of certain additional construction work was recently discovered that is needed to pursue as part of the site construction for a new Round Street Highway facility, which upon further review will benefit the town and the project were not anticipated nor covered in the original contract entered into between the town and the contractor, which have recently been recommended by Delaware Engineering DPC and the town engineer project architect, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board, after due consideration and upon recommendations from the town facilities committee, the town engineer and project architect, Delaware Engineering DPC, and the review of the comptroller, authorizes and awards the following change order as set forth in the attached letter caption, recommendation to approve contract modifications of Delaware Engineering DPC dated August the 28th of 2024. Number one, Plant Construction Services LLC, switching from Marvin Elevate Windows to Marvin Essential Windows. This requires and will yield a net cost change value decrease in the sum of $7,500, and is further resolved, the town board hereby directs town supervisor to take whatever steps are necessary to execute the agreement between the town and Plant Construction Services LLC for such improvements and work, and any required change other order documentation or inspection documentation which will be needed and necessary for the processing and completion of the change order, and to do all that is necessary and required to pay all amounts owed under this agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 90.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Dunleavy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 91 of 2024, resolution authorizing payment in lieu of taxes agreement, which is a pilot with the Town Solar LLC on property located at 209 Stone Church Road in the town of Milton, whereas Milton Solar LLC, the owner, has received approval and to build and operate a solar energy system as defined in the New York Real Property Tax Law 487 sub 1-B, herein the project on the portion of the parcel land located within the town at 209 Stone Church Road in Ballston, Spa, New York 12020, identified on the Saratoga County Tax Map parcel number 176.-2.20 and 176.-2-21. Whereas upon receiving the notice of intent and construction, the project in the town of Milton exercised the right to require payment in lieu of taxes, which is a pilot agreement with the owner under the owner, and will be required to make annual payments to the town for the 15-year term of the proposed pilot agreement, copy of which is attached in Exhibit A of this resolution and incorporated herein. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton as follows. The proposed payment in lieu of taxes agreement for Milton Solar LLC between Town of Milton and Milton Solar LLC is hereby approved, subject to the changes recommended by the town attorney, town supervisor, and hereby authorized to execute the said agreement to do all that is necessary to implement the same. Subsection 2, the proposed host community benefit agreement between Town of Milton Solar LLC is hereby approved, subject to any changes recommended by the town attorney, town supervisor, and hereby authorized to execute said agreements to do all that is necessary to implement the same, and the resolution is and shall be effective immediately. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 91.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 92 of 2024, resolution to approve the schedule of budgetary amendments proposed by the town comptroller, whereas Town Board, Town of Milton, from time to time finds it necessary to make budgetary amendments within the budget year based upon recommendation from the town comptroller. Now therefore be resolved, Town Board hereby approves the budgetary amendments and transfers as described and set forth in the schedule provided and recommended by the town comptroller, which said schedule is attached thereto and made a part thereof. Authorize the town comptroller to proceed with and make the necessary budget amendments as set forth therein. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 92.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next resolution number 93, resolution to abolish the position of clerk and for the establishment of a new position entitled Executive Secretary Enforcement Planning and Zoning in the Code Enforcement Office in the Town of Milton, whereas Town Board, Town of Milton has previously created and approved compensation schedule from time to time needs amendments and including the establishment of a new position and or removal and abolishment of any others. Now therefore be it resolved, Town Board hereby abolishes and removes the existing position of titled clerk and creates a position titled Executive Secretary Enforcement Planning and Zoning for the Code Enforcement Office at a grade 5 pursuant to section 42 of the New York State Civil Service Law, and further resolved that the duties of such position will include but not be limited to those duties set forth on the attached Saratoga County Human Resources new position duty statement, and further resolved that the said person so hired is designated by the town shall answer to the town code enforcement officer, town board, and shall receive a reasonable compensation for services to be fixed by the town board, which shall be a town change with the initial compensation to be set forth at a grade 5 with those benefits that are set forth by the town employee handbook. And further resolve the town board hereby authorize the immediate commencement of the process to advertise for, interview, and fill the said position, all in accordance with civil services employment regulations, town code, and the employee handbook. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 93.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next a motion to approve Ashley DeBlasio to attend the training on October the 30th of 2024 at the New York State Employer Education Seminar, cost not to exceed $70. Also training on 11/20 and 11/21 of 2024. Another New York State class, Introduction of Governmental Accounting, cost not to exceed $85. And on 2/16 and 2/16, 2/17, 2/18 of 2025 to attend the Association of Towns Annual Meeting and Training at a cost not to exceed $1,400.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, motion to set a public hearing for local law number 6 of 2024, street and highway standard details and construction specifications on October the 23rd, 2024 at 6:30 PM.
Make that motion.
Second,
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
yes,
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next a motion to accept the resignation of Jeffrey Buckley as a member of the Planning Board effective September the 11th of 2024.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
yes,
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next a motion to accept the resignation of Patty Cuniff as a clerk in the Building and Code Enforcement Office effective September the 25th of 2024.
I'll make that motion with regret.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes,
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next a motion to advertise for Planning Board position and Building and Code Enforcement positions.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
yes,
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next a motion to set a special meeting for October the 1st, 2024 at 10 a.m. to accept the 2025 tentative Town of Milton budget.
I'll make that motion.
second,
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
yes,
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, the next department and committee reports, Animal Control, Eric.
Animal Control Monthly Report for August 2024. Total calls 89, bite cases 3, dangerous dog hearings 2, animal seized 12, a number of tickets issued, unlicensed dog 17, running at large 4, nuisance dog 2, for a total of 23. Respectfully submitted, David Drzezinski, Animal Control Officer.
Thank you, Eric. Assessors report?
The assessor's report for September. It's never too soon to apply for your exemptions. Homeowners turning 65 by December 31st, 2025, and have made less than $107,300 adjusted gross income on your 2023 taxes must complete RP 425E and IVP and submit to the assessor's office along with supporting documentations no later than March 1st, 2025. If you're receiving a basic star credit check, I would recommend you contact New York State to see if you are automatically enrolled at age 65. Telephone number there, 518-457-2036. Kind regards, Laura Orminski, Town of Milton Assessor.
Thank you, Eric. Building Department, John?
Okay, during the month of August, the building department managed 33 building permits, collected $7,252.20 in building permit fees, completed 54 construction inspections, fulfilled 26 fire safety inspections, responded to 9 code enforcement violations. A total of 3 certificate of occupancy were issued, with 15 certificates of compliance.
Thank you, John. Next, Buildings and Grounds, Barb.
buildings and grounds. During the month of August, I did daily cleaning of the community center, town parks, and all town offices, include the highway department setups and takedowns at the community center. Believe me, he does a lot with the seniors over there as needed. I did monthly mowing of parks and cemeteries and monthly inspections of fire extinguishers and AED machines. Inspected all playground equipment at Burgess Kimball Park and Suzanne Lyle Playground. And we have started installing security lights and cameras around the parks and the buildings. We've removed debris from Milton Mile, so it continues to be a safe place for everyone to enjoy. Respectfully submitted, Mark Leroy.
Thank you, Barb. Next, Comptroller's financial reporting package issued to the town boards made available on for public inspection at our town website. Next, Director of Planning, Meg.
All right, it's a pretty lengthy report, so I think I'm just gonna highlight some items from it.
so I don't put you all to sleep. But this will be posted so you can get a thorough review of it. Within August and September, Sophia Maruso has completed several items, including the planning board agenda meetings held via Zoom. Attendance at those planning board meetings was necessary and has been great. I attended the planning board meetings and her attendance has been really nice to have there and as well as her input. Coordination with Amanda and Brenda on application intake and content review. Planning board reviews completed for the planning board for the 9/11 meetings, which was the West Milton Verizon Cell Tower, 201 North Line Road, which is the dispensary and drive-through. And let's see here. Planning reviews completed for the 9/26 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, which was 1398 Armor Road, which is an area variance, and 8 Rip Van Lane, which was also an area variance. Pre-application conferences were held for prospective solar farm applicant, coordination with legal counsel Delaware and staff regarding review logistics of Milltown Center, contact made with ISWM program for stormwater management, and coordination with Saratoga County Planning on incoming referrals and project reviews, coordination with the zoning board chair regarding planning reviews. So a lot of the legwork has been kind of coming up to speed on this, a lot of these items, and working with a lot of folks to get a better process in place. Next month, continued coordination with staff and incoming returns for planning board and zoning board applications. Planning reviews for the 10/9 planning board meeting as identified in the upcoming meeting agenda. Potential upcoming reviews, which would be McDonald's. Representation at the planning board meetings, as I indicated. Engage with Delaware regarding record keeping for active construction projects for stormwater management compliance. And continue exploring SharePoint as a central hub of application materials, record keeping, and distribution to the planning board. Amanda has begun exploring the capabilities of the program and will be exploring if there's a tie-in with the website information available to the public.
Thank you, Mick. Next, economic development. Unfortunately, John Oledick had an emergency he had to go to, but his report's available on the desk for anybody's viewing. It's right there. You can pick it up when you leave. Next, the health officer. Eric, do you have anything?
Not this week.
No? Okay. Highway Department, John.
The Highway Department has begun roadway reconstruction on Hutchins Road and Gray Birch Trail. Milling and paving will begin by the end of this week. And town residents can bring their lawn debris to the transfer station located 503 Geyser Road. There is no regular pickup of lawn debris until fall pickup beginning October 15th.
Thanks, John. Next, historians report, Mike.
Good evening again. Quick rundown of my activities this month. August 31st, we held a ceremony commemorating a new sign recognizes the service of Revolutionary War veterans at North Milton Cemetery. Councilwoman Soden and Carr were there, attended. Meg helped to unveil one of the signs along with author Jim Richmond, a member of our 250th committee. Jeremy Baird, a member of the Historic Places and Structures Committee, described the history of the cemetery as well. Many members of our community also attended, along with representatives of the Sons and Daughters of the American Revolution. I also built and installed a new sign at Frank Cemetery in Middle Grove, commemorating the service of two Revolutionary War veterans. We're not going to have a ceremony there like they usually do because there's no space. It's on a very dangerous corner. You can't park any cars there. It's hazardous. So I just put the sign up. Amanda's been kind enough to actually post the signs on the historian's webpage, which was kind of cool. So if you actually can't see them, you can actually see them there. I also took down the cemetery sign that was there because it was falling over. I took it apart, rebuilt it, repainted it, and reinstalled it. So they both look pretty. On September 4th, I took part in a program at the Grants Cottage, doing cannon demonstrations in recognition of a ceremony first performed on the death of General Grant in 1885. September 15th, I took part in the Daughters of the American Revolution program at the Saratoga Battlefield as part of the Revolutionary War Color Guard. I also acted as a color guard on September 17th at the Century House, commemorating the visit of the Marquis de Lafayette's visit to America, hosted by the Daughters of the American Revolution. On September 24th, I met with members of the Milton 250th Committee to discuss future projects and events. We reviewed the program for the upcoming kiosk ceremony commemorating the 1780 raid on Ballston. The ceremony will take place on October 26th, unveiling the new informational panels, which we see here. The ceremony will take place at 11 a.m. at Treble Park at the corner of 67 and Middle Line Road. I hope you all can attend. We discussed the upcoming Revolutionary Trivia Night, which will take place on October 17th at 7 p.m. in Milton Tavern. Reviewed the questions or preparation for the event. I was able to secure donations of prizes and handout items from the Saratoga County 250th Commission to be given out at the event. And we also discussed the brainstorm a number of new projects for next year, which will involve creating more infrastructure for the town as far as recognizing the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mike. Next, Justice Court, Barb.
Justice courts for the month of August. Fines collected $2,713, surcharges $2,211, civil fees $535, for a total of $5,459.
Thank you, Barb. Next, Planning and Zoning Board, Meg.
Okay. Planning Board was on 9/11, and several items were covered in that meeting. 652 Grand Avenue, which was for a minor subdivision. The public hearing took place, and there were no comments at that time, and that 3-lot minor subdivision was approved. 336 Rowland Street, which was a preliminary plat extension. This was the 4th extension request due to delays in DEC approval of sewer connections to Heritage Springs Sewer Works. The DDE noted that Saratoga County Sewer Authority is demanding a model of third-party connections, and this is causing delays in DEC approval countywide. We granted the 6-month extension. 209 Stone Church Road, which was Milton Solar. This was a special use extension. Also a request for an extension while the applicant works out the pilot and community benefit fund. 6-month extension was approved. 939 Rock City Road, which is a cell tower special use and site plan. The new cell tower application needs to be referred to the county and scheduled a public hearing for November 13th. 272 Stone Church Road, which is a major subdivision, that was pulled by the applicant. 201 Northline Road, which was a special use, the special use permit for a marijuana adult retail dispensary and walk-up window, scheduled a public hearing for October 9th. Milltown Center for the Rowland Street and Treble Ave. And that was the 4th and final component review. The applicant and TDE will now compile all the comments and suggestions, revisions to the site plan. The applicant intends to have a revised site plan for the October 9th meeting, possible public hearing to start November 13th. We will need approval of the water district service and adoption of the street standards prior to advancing a decision for the project. Zoning board, the next zoning board meeting is on the 26th, which is tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Meg. Next, receiver of taxes. Lisa, you have anything for us? Getting ready to start soon. Excellent. Next, town clerk, Brenda.
For the month of August, we had 16 marriages, one-day officiant license, 12 certified marriage certificates, 26 certified death certificates, 11 FOIL in search of records, 158 dog licensing, of which 54 of them were online, 387 hunting and fishing licenses, 3 pavilion and community rentals with a total dollar amount brought in, $5,745.54.
Thank you, Brenda. Youth Bureau, you're up again.
Okay, so our quarterly meeting was held this past Monday, and all the funding was approved for the 2025 recreation season, and we're getting $6,100, not quite $6,200 in the grant for next summer for our rec program. We have to file our claim for the 2024 grant by October 10th. And the yearly conference this year is down in Westchester, New York in October. And then the Capital Region Park and Recreation Association Conference will be held in Queensbury. And that's not just Saratoga County. It's a whole bunch of different counties, so you get different points of view. The next meeting is scheduled for November 18th.
Thank you, Brenda. Next, public comment number 2, public comment number 2 on any town business. Public comment number 2 is now open. Tim Bantham.
A little skinny one.
Yes, good evening. My name is Tim Bantham, 32 Birch Tree Lane. On September 3rd, I had the opportunity to observe the comprehensive plan meeting right here in this room. For those members of the community who have a vested interest in the future development of our town, this is the meeting that you need to attend. After listening to the invited subject matter experts, what became abundantly clear that is a completed comprehensive plan is necessary before we can open our doors to various corporations and developers who would like to open shop here in Milton. As it relates to the comprehensive plan, I'd like to share takeaways from the meeting. The best comprehensive plan prioritizes feedback from town residents. A completed comprehensive plan is vital for successful community planning. Without it, we are vulnerable to undesirable business or corporations attempting to move in. A comprehensive plan is a living document that needs to be revisited periodically, not one that's left on the shelf. We must define who we are and what we will look like as a community. If we don't do so, a developer or a business will try to define our community for us. In the meeting that night, Delaware Engineering's Mary Beth Bianconi shared a term that I absolutely loved. The term was generica. In generica, there is no charm. There is no character. Instead, everything just looks well generic. Think big box, think ubiquitous fast food restaurants, think corporate logos like the Golden Arches and Popeye's Chicken. These are things that will soon be present right here in the town of Milton. If you talk to residents and really listen, you would know that very few people in the town of Milton want us to become just another generica. So my call to the town board is simple. Let's not let that happen. We currently have a director of economic planning who appears to be taking a scattershot approach to attracting business. This is seemingly untethered to a completed comprehensive plan. Since this appears to be the case, I asked the board to consider pausing any future solicitations by our director of economic planning until we can get a completed comprehensive plan finalized and agreed upon by all stakeholders. If we don't have a clear idea of what we want the future of our town to look like, large corporations and big-time developers will do it for us. Taking steps now to ensure smart growth, endorsed and supported by our comprehensive plan, is the only thing standing between us and becoming just another generica. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Michelle Judah?
Michelle Judah, 34 Van Tassel Lane. So I just want to follow on what Tim said. I don't want to repeat it. I agree with everything he said. I was at that meeting as well. Thank you. I was at the meeting as well. I agree with everything that Tim said. I'm not going to repeat it. It was an amazing meeting, and the residents should really plan to come out on Tuesday, October 1st at 6:30. Not completely sure what they have planned, but it will be well worth your time to participate in it. Another phrase we heard that night over and over from, and these were economic development professionals that were brought in by the committee, was, "You have not screwed up the town yet." They said that several times during the meeting.
They
take
also,
pause.
they also said what a great town we had, and these were total outsiders.
Mhm,
So,
mhm. And there was a lot of concern expressed about the current state of the zoning and what would be possible if people with money found the town and were to build based on the current zoning, that we might end up with things that we don't like. I learned at that meeting that the R2 district, that I think most of us as citizens believe is protecting that district, is not protective enough of what we believe that is to keep the rural nature of our town, and that it could be exploited if the right person found it. So it does really beg the question as to why we're paying in year 3, I believe now, a director of economic development to be soliciting businesses. And with all due respect for, the emergency that he had, the second paragraph of his report talks about, that he's researching and focusing on understanding how the upcoming development is going to shape the economy, the economic landscape. He's evaluating potential impacts. The aim is to offer strategic outlook for the town's economic future with recommendations for ensuring sustained progress. And yet, it really does seem like he's taking this scattered approach, that it's like throwing things against a wall and seeing who will say yes and who will come. I don't see anything that's strategic or based on facts or looking at what is this going to do to the town in the future. I'm very concerned. Taking another complete detour, the solar projects. We're forced that climate smart thing. We think that's great, right? So climate smart, one of the things that group could be doing, is looking at our existing zoning and regulations regarding solar, battery energy, wind farms. This is all emerging technology, and we really don't have code for it, but we're welcoming solar farms. So I took a look at what's in our town code, and it's like one paragraph that's really kind of based on, to my understanding, the state law, that we will accommodate solar energy. We'll think about, environmentally smart energy, but it's based on town law 263. So when I go and look at that, which is a state law for towns about how you do your zoning, that starts off with that those regulations shall be made in accordance with a comprehensive plan. So I then went to our comprehensive plan, actually fully written in 2001, partially revised in 2012, look up solar, it doesn't speak to it at all. It's not in the comprehensive plan at all. So again, we're going forth and we're building and developing without really having an agreed upon plan. The people at that meeting told us we should be telling the developers what we want. They actually said we can be very specific in our zoning. We can tell them what color and how big the windows, and as long as we treat everybody the same once we do it. And they cautioned over and over again, know what you want so that they're going to bring what you want into the town and not have them tell us. We shouldn't have solar people telling us how they're going to, mitigate the risks of solar panels that die out and need to be taken down, or fire risk of a solar farm. We should be setting those guidelines. We're not. We have it backwards. And I would just implore you to, think about this. We really should. The contract for the economic development, because people have asked me, well, there's a contract. It has a 30-day clause in there. You could cancel the contract until after we finish what we're doing with this. And we might want to think about, obviously businesses have brought things in good faith to the planning board, but we might want to think about finishing the comprehensive plan, agreeing on zoning, and having everybody feel good about this before we continue to start welcoming more applications in for that.
Thank you, Michelle. Anyone else? Amanda, anybody via Zoom? Okay, hearing none. Public comment number 2 is now closed. Brenda, do we have any correspondence?
No.
No correspondence. Any discussion on new business from the board?
Yeah, Michelle stole my thunder there. I just wanted to remind everybody about the comprehensive review meeting next Tuesday, October 1st. And we have changed the time to 6:30 to maybe accommodate more business and still get out of here at a reasonable time, wrap it up. So I hope that's convenient for everyone.
Anyone else? Newtown Business Board? No?
You want me to facilities?
We can do that on our old business.
Old business.
So moving on to
A little bit of business, such as good business, not new or old. I had mentioned during the last meeting, so I'll try to be a little bit brief with these, but it seemed far off. What's that?
Then it's old.
Okay, well, it's getting old. It's not really business on the agenda. The Capital Region Electronic Recycling Event is this coming Saturday, September 28th at this location, 503 Geyser Road, 9 to 3 for town residents only. It's a huge electronic event. So most anything you could think of tucked in the basement of your house, from the drawer, computers, monitors, printers, power supplies, etc. They're willing to take it's not a TV drop off, although it's hard to determine what's a monitor and what's a TV these days, but there's a telephone number on this announcement that you can make a special arrangements to have a TV hauled off, and a couple of anomalies on the list that don't really fall under electronics, but they will take scrap metal and non-contaminated scientific and medical equipment. So, it's on the website. We have a newly refurbished document handler on the wall over there where instead of spreading some of these documents that we bring to the meetings or talk about in the meetings and leave them on a table, you can find some of that stuff here if you happen to be present on the website if you're not. And in addition to the electronics recycling day, same location, same hours, it's pretty much everything else. Most of your household stuff: sofas, love seats, box springs, rugs, carpets, sinks, toilets, cabinets, metal doors, pipes, etc. There's a list of things not to bring. That's usually it's larger appliances like refrigerators, freezers, air conditioners, etc. But I suggest this is our opportunity to get rid of some of that stuff that's cluttering our homes. And if you're recently retired, want to cut the cord to the home office, this is a good time to get rid of those electronics. So just a reminder for everybody. We look forward to these things at my house. Get rid of the stuff.
Anyone else? Old business. John?
Yeah. To update on facilities, the highway garage relocation, the permanent power service has been completed at the site, and final phase 1 electrical punch list items are being worked on as we speak, such as garage door motor testing can be now completed. Over the next month, we anticipate closing out of phase 1. For the new highway garage, as everybody can notice, the concrete work is ongoing. Delaware's engineers are reviewing submittals from the contractor for things like architectural and mechanical elements. On Operation Reimagine Milton, we are in the process of finalizing the site plan and phasing plan. Which will unlock the first phase of construction activities. Phases 1 and 2 anticipated to encompass the new roadway, park and ride, utilities, and Parks Department garage and concession stand, hard surface courts, playgrounds, and pavilions. Future phases are to include demolition of the existing highway garage, facilities, town court building, construction of a town hall expansion, new town court and rec center, and we're still working out the details with our engineers to ensure an efficient, cost-effective phasing plan. The road dedication procedures, we received our drafts on road dedication. Just to give everybody an idea, these are all things that are being updated that haven't been updated in our zoning code. It's quite an extensive document because there's a lot of things that it needs to cover, but it also gives us a fair playing field with the developers so that any town road that's constructed is constructed the way we want it. So that's where that's at.
Thank you, John. Anyone else?
Yeah, new old business. Thank you, Michelle and Tim. I always try to cite how many people live in this town and how few people actually show up here or dig into some documents and take part. I wish everybody did, and we could all be a little bit part of crafting what's happening now, because it is an exciting time with some of the things going on in town, but also a little bit intimidating and concerning. So appreciate it when some folks dig in. Hopefully some more people do and attend these meetings, so we can at least be part of the solution to some of problems and concerns that folks may see. So, thank you.
Meg?
Yeah, just again, a huge thank you for the attendees, vendors, and the Saratoga Farmers Market for helping us out for the Milton Farmers Market that took place over the 8-week period over this summer. We had a lot of fun and a lot of good people came and a lot of great things that that the vendors had. So we're looking for input. So you can use my email or text me or whatever, but I'm looking for input for next year. And you know, certainly if you want to be a part of helping out with that, that would be great too. Or just suggestions in general would be great. Thank you.
Barb? No. I have a couple things. I was in contact with the CDTA. I've been after them about restoring that bus line for the seniors on Rowland and Geyser. And they got back to me, but they couldn't give me an exact date, but it was on their agenda. So they're hoping to have that bus line restored by the end of the year. So Woods Hollow, I sent a letter out to the governor's office trying to get an indication of when that bill's going to be signed, and I got a response back today. As a matter of fact, that it's on the governor's desk, so as soon as she signs it, we will be closing on Woods Hollow. And just an update on that, the town's already started doing work. They're looking to pave the entrances to the North Line Road, and they're starting to clean out that whole section in there already. So we're anticipating a takeover hopefully by the end of the year. And just another on the refuse collection, not the electronics, but the town refuse collection. We have 2 dates. The first one is Saturday, October 5th, and Sunday, October the 19th, which starts at 9 a.m. and it will conclude at 3 p.m. right here in the parking lot of Town Hall. Once again, another reminder, I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but our trunk or treat is the October the 26th in the park from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Hey,
Yeah.
Scott, that 19th date is a Saturday. They're both Saturday dates.
In the park or in the community center?
Trunk or treat? Yes. Oh, okay, you're right. I misinformed you. Yes, that's at the community center.
You can say Sunday.
Anyone else? Yes, Mike.
I just want to ask if anybody is interested in joining either my Historic Structures and Places Committee or Revolutionary War 250th Committee. I'd appreciate that. Our numbers are down to like 5 on each one. So we're looking for new recruits because these committees are going to go on for a long time, as far as long as I'm here anyway. And I also want to mention the fact that there's literature over there on the wall. There's a little organizer that Shannon suggests I mention to people that if they want any literature relating to economic development or historic aspects of the town, they're over there on the wall. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
I have a quick question for Mike. Hey, Mike, on this year's trivia night, are you going to give the questions to Highway like you did last year?
There was no shenanigans. It was all straightforward. They're just really good cheaters. That's all I gotta say.
Gave you the answer to the last question.
I know you
All
did.
Yes,
right,
yes.
Just saying.
Hmm?
Anything else come for the
I didn't
board?
believe you.
I know. I know.
Yes, if you think there's a ringer at trivia night with Mike, he's not a player. He's more of a moderator. So
Mike,
everybody's got a fair shot.
Mike, just so you know, Barb's team would have won that night. I gave her the answer to the last question.
We
She
thought he was
didn't
trying to
believe me.
throw us off.
She didn't believe him.
Just for people like Barb, there's no cell phones allowed during this trivia contest, Barb.
Oh,
Oh,
Right?
I told you that.
I just want to clarify that we discussed that with the people running it this year. No cell phones, Barb. Thank you very much.
thank Mike.
Nobody can run into the kitchen and with their cell phone.
Nope, no executive session this evening, so a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion if I get in any more trouble.
I'll say.
Councilman Lomecki,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sardi,
Yes.
Councilman Tolan,
Yes.
Councilman Kern,
Yes.
Vice Armstrong.
Yes, thank you everyone for attending. Have a wonderful evening.